But now she is going to run interference for the squad. Watch this.
And then the last thing you have to say about this is, this is the identical situation that the squad was in last time around when Democrats had a very narrow majority in the House. There was pressure on them to do something with their numbers to get their own concessions, whether that was key committee positions or whether it was certain votes on the floor of the House. And they have completely taken a different tack. And I think we see now.
So she's implying, she goes, they completely took a different tack. They didn't take any tack.
It shouldn't be called a squad because a squad does things
together.
Yeah, right.
They didn't do anything. So she's pretending like they chose a different strategy to achieve progressive goals. That's what she's saying right there.
She literally did not say that, though. Like, straight up, she didn't say that. She just said that they did something different. It's like, well, like, I'm just going to try and find something to be pissed off at you about that. You are literally just doing deep diving, like trying to read between the lines to find some reason that you can attack breaking points. And because Jimmy's desperate to start beef with them, because they're the outside of like Jimmy and TYT and the Majority Report, that they are the biggest powerhouse. And I think probably relevance wise, as far as people who are watching them for actual news, they probably just clobber us all. Obviously they clobber us, but I think like most of what Jimmy's audience is coming for, and honestly probably Sam Cedar's audience is coming for at this point, is way more entertainment, whereas I feel like the Breaking Points audience is coming in a lot more for the news. Long story short, Jimmy wants to create beef with them because it's really good content for him, so he is reaching like a motherfucker. He is reaching at nothing there. He's grabbing at air. It's pretty pathetic, actually.
Yeah, I find this very distasteful, specifically because Krystal Ball, Kyle Kulinski, the people he's name dropping here as if they're somehow enemies of this movement or detractors from the strategy. These are literally people that supported it at the time, that were its best advocates. I think at the time, Jimmy even said Kyle Kulinski was the best advocate for Force the Vote, that he did the best job articulating why the strategy was important and why it was necessary. Their opinions have not changed either. It's not like just because they had a falling out with Jimmy Dore, now they've all of a sudden turned into contrarians and want to act like, their opinions have changed or their minds have changed on this. No, they're still out here explaining why it was a good idea.
I'll play it for you again.
Oh, why?
Okay.
You just want to alienate the squad. They're our best hope.
So watch this. This is amazing. This is like Kyle Kulinski sleight of hand right here. Watch this.
And they have completely taken a different tack. And I think we see now with the level of concessions that this group has already been able to extract from McCarthy, that and the way that the squad has been completely sidelined in the Democratic Party, that was clearly the wrong approach.
Oh,
so she's now pretending that the squad has been sidelined in the Democratic Party, and they didn't see that coming. They didn't know that they would be sidelined by Nancy Pelosi. They didn't really know that. So she's, again, this is the second lie, right? So they didn't take a tack. They didn't have a strategy to get progressive goals met. They didn't do frickin' anything. And now she just made that lie. There's another one coming. Hang on.
They thought they could play an inside game. They thought that would be the way to ultimately pursue and achieve their policy objective.
Now, that is 100,000% lie. That's what she looks like when she's lying. If you wanted to know what Krystal Ball looks like when she's lying, that's what she looks like. Because
I just don't understand. She didn't lie. She said that they were sidelined. She said that was a poor strategy. She said that she supported Force the Vote. I don't understand. He's looking for shit that's not there. He's looking for shit that's not there. Brian, I'm not focusing on his tone. I'm focusing on the literal lies that are coming out of his mouth right now. He is looking at something that Krystal says. He's taking somebody who agrees with him, and then he's saying, you're not saying it hard enough. You're a fucking liar. He's saying that you're not taking the tone that I would. He's saying that you're not taking this like hard line. I'm going to burn every bridge and call everybody a fucking fraud and alienate everybody that doesn't already 100% agree with me. Okay? Because that's what I do on my show. Well, guess what? She hosts a different fucking show with a very different candor and a very different audience. Okay. So it's just absurd that he's trying to portray this as some sort of nefarious lie. No, it's not. And go after somebody who, again, was one of the most consistent supporters of Force the Vote. It's just absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, referencing Brian's super chat, let's focus less on Jimmy's tone and more on the substance of his argument. Yeah, we're not focusing on his tone. He's the one that's focusing on tone. What Krystal Ball is saying is 100% accurate and 100% substantive. And she's been on point as it relates to force the vote from the very fucking beginning. And this is of great importance because this kind of camaraderie that needs to be built among a movement in order for it to be successful is actually something that's very legitimate to discuss in the context of being a successful movement that gets these sort of concessions and that is able to achieve some level of success. If you have no sense of allyship with people that are on your side, then yeah, your movement's probably going to fail and you're probably not going to get what you want.
That is a fucking lie. They didn't have a strategy. They didn't do anything except turn on the activists, lie about what they were doing, and then roll over for the corporate machine and vote for everything Nancy Pelosi told them to. They didn't oppose her one bit.
Also, I keep bringing this up, but they also were heavens to Murgatroyd. What if Kevin McCarthy becomes speaker? I can't get over that. That was the big, because then Kevin McCarthy.
Yeah, that's right. But that's not the, I don't know if the squad said that, but what she's saying, but lots of people defending them said that. You're right.
Just for the record, Krystal Ball never said that, ever, a single time.
Right about that, Kurt. But what she's saying right here are three huge lies. So she could keep her access with the squad or her whatever party she wants to be invited to, or keep.
AOC has never been on Breaking Points, and neither has any other noteworthy member of the squad. They've done one interview with Bernie Sanders, and that was for the Krystal, Kyle, and Friends, and it was just Krystal Ball. So again, for the record, all that access they're getting over here. But while we're calling other people liars, right, let's just clear the air with some truth really quickly.
Yeah, that's the ironic thing about this segment and Jimmy Dore in general is he loves to call people liars, but oftentimes he's the one fucking lying and just blatantly mischaracterizing his opponent's viewpoints and opinions for the sake of dunking on them and scoring internet points, which is clearly his main, prerogative.
100%. But we can keep letting this go for a little bit before we get to the super chats.
Keep her donor money. I don't know what. I don't know. I can only speculate. But those are three big lines. You see how slippery she is when she lies? You wouldn't catch it the first time. She's like, oh, she's saying that the squad was wrong. That's what it looks like, right? Looks like she said, oh, the squad is wrong. She's saying they were wrong.
Yeah, right.
No, what she is lying
Wasn't
about.
she a politician?
She was. She wanted to be a politician like Jenks. She couldn't get elected. But what she is trying to make you think is that they just made a mistake. That they actually they had a different idea on how to meet different different tack on how to meet their progressive goal. They never had one freaking they never had an idea on how to get there. They didn't have any intention of doing any of that. And what that's called is a lie. That's a lie.
So I just want to introduce everybody to how Jimmy covered this back, before it had been years down the line when he was listening to Krystal's coverage of Force the Vote. I just want to take a second to go back and listen to a different Jimmy Dore before he decided that he had to hate Krystal and Kyle because it was good for clicks and he felt like personally wronged by them. Let's just really quickly for everybody see if Jimmy was singing a little bit of a different tune, right? So I want to play a video from the Jimmy Dore show called Krystal Ball is Correct about the left's response to Force the Vote.
Here. Hi, Ron. How are you, buddy?
What's up, Jimmy?
Oh, man,
Good
it
to
makes
see
me
you, man.
nostalgic.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Seeing a friendly face on the fucking Jimmy Dore show. Somebody that, wow, a good person. You never get to see that anymore. Fucking crazy.
Holidays. So there's been a lot of hoopla happening about the hashtag. And instead of me going back and doing it myself, I'll just piggyback off her great video. So I'm just going to play it in its entirety. We'll stop and start it. Ron and I will comment because she makes some great observations about what this moment is revealing about the left. Hashtag Force the Vote moment. It's revealing a lot that a lot of people who you thought were going to fight for Medicare for all actually are never going to fight for Medicare for all. It's revealing that. It's revealing a lot of people whose whole life have been saying, I'm for Medicare for all. And when the time came to fight for it, they're not doing that. That's very revealing right now. people bending themselves who claim to be on the left and claim to be for Medicare for all, bending themselves in pretzels to not do it. But she's also talking about there's been a lot of heat, or there's always, whenever they talk about the left-wing media sphere, it's always done with derision, even from the liberal class. And she nails that here. Watch this.
The force the vote debate over whether or not progressives in Congress should demand anything at all in exchange for supporting Nancy Pelosi for Speaker continues to rage on. One of the latest entrants into the debate was a kind of a strange piece from Yasha Levine over on Substack. Now, Yasha actually admits that he agrees with the idea of forcing the squad to do something, as he writes. What's the point of seeking congressional power if you're not going to use it to make a scene, gum up the works, and show up your enemies?
So anyway, I won't play too much of this, but Jimmy goes on to praise Krystal Ball for having the foresight to see through all of this, appreciates the fact that she's gotten on board and, fully swinging this. And now, like 1 year later, year and a half later, you're going to pretend that this lady is your ardent enemy because of like the weird context clues that you're pulling out of an obscure clip that you've pulled to be massively charitable to your own argument. Hey guys, this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is the clearest example. I don't know what to say to people. I know that a lot of people like Jimmy Dore. This is the clearest example of bad faith behavior possible.